Using these three ingredients, this company managed to reach every heart and mind in the United States. When these ingredients came together, millions of people cried, rejoiced, felt sorrow, empathized, and were changed. These ingredients were embodied by three individuals who were part of a great recipe called Pixar. Our story began in 1975 at the Disney College of Arts, with one of its students, John Lasseter. He learned art from the greatest artists of that era, known as the 9 Old Men, while working a summer job at Disneyland. Why? Because he was obsessed with Disney and dreamed of working there. His dream quickly came true. In 1979, John was hired to work on the film The Fox and the Hound, which Disney was producing. But the dream didn't last long, as John committed one of the biggest taboos at Disney at that time. He wanted change. John wanted to try using computers in animated films, which terrified Disney's artists, fearing they would be replaced by computers. So they made a mistake that would cost them $7.4 billion to correct, and they would be fired anyway. Disney fired John. This brings us to the first ingredient of our recipe, art. In 1960, computer scientist Ed Catmull and his team succeeded in building the first computer graphics lab. This scientist dreamed of creating the first computer-animated film, not planning to earn $350 million from it. He worked at Lucasfilm to develop the most powerful computer for graphics at that time, which would later be called Pixar. Naturally, he needed an artist to assist him, so John was hired into the team. After a while, this team separated from the company and became known by the computer's name, Pixar. This gave us the second ingredient, science. But to transform the team into an independent company, Pixar needed the third ingredient, business, in the form of a man named Steve Jobs. Steve believed in this team and their ability to produce the first computer-animated film, so he invested $10 million to start production. The team wanted to introduce their small company through a short film that would later become Pixar's icon and win an Oscar, Luxo Jr. This film was made by one man and one computer in the 1980s. At that time, John wanted to produce the first full-length computer-animated film, which would be called Toy Story, with support from Disney. Yes, Disney resisted change but wasn't foolish. They wanted to see where this team could go. The contract was signed, and Pixar began writing the script. In 1993, they took the script to Disney, but it was terrible, there were no emotions, and Woody was an idiot. Disney ordered production to stop, but the Pixar team didn't give up. They tried again, and after 3 weeks, yes, 3 weeks of working day and night, they rewrote the script, which was good enough for Disney to restart production. On Thanksgiving in 1995, Toy Story premiered across the United States. It was astonishing in every way, the animation, the characters, the story. This film, produced by a small studio no one had heard of, grossed over $350 million. Unfortunately, due to the contract, most of these profits went to Disney. But thanks to Steve Jobs' business acumen, Pixar went public, reaching a value of $132 million, putting Pixar on par with Disney. They signed a new 50-50 contract with Disney, making Pixar a partner, not just a studio. However, Pixar was going through its toughest times because any mistake could mean bankruptcy. They had to outdo themselves with their second film. Thus, the project A Bug's Life began, which was literally filmed in a garden. Every problem they faced, they invented something to solve it. The world was one place, and Pixar was another. Success followed success. In 1999, they made Toy Story 2, then Monsters Incorporated, Finding Nemo, and The Incredibles, which won an Oscar. Pixar became a phenomenon. This immense success ended the era of 2D animated films, unfortunately leading to the firing of artists who were not ready for change from studios like Disney. In 2005, Disney bought Pixar for $7.4 billion. Pixar, which started with one computer. Art, science, business. Have you got the recipe?